Okay, I think we're back. I don't know what happened. 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 Sorry guys, I don't know what happened, but I lost you for a moment there, and I'm back. I don't know, something tripped, and there was something on my phone, so yeah. So anyway, so my name is Danny. I'm the founder of Lose Your Mind, the Tribe. The Tribe is a collective. It's a group of people who are focused on growing themselves, in terms of their thought process, so we're creating a group of people that eventually, or some of them are already thought leaders. And I do apologize, last Saturday we're supposed to have an event, but I was inundated with so many other things and I wasn't able to make it, but I'm so glad that I could make it today. So I decided to do 2 shows this week. So we're doing one today and we're going to do one over the weekend to really just come up to speed with everything, because I like to keep my word. I said once a week, so it has to be once a week. We can't say once a week and then do once every other week, and that's not right. So lose your mind. What are we about? We're about change. We're about changing of the mind and refreshing your mind to understand some of the key messages that you've been holding in your brain that were perhaps put there by people that you respected and loved. People that, were your teachers, people who were your influences in life. And now you start to realize that, this is actually not as it seemed. It seemed like, things are the way they are. But really, when you look very closely, you realize, hold on a second. No, there's a better way to do certain things. There's a better way to, maybe to start processing your thoughts so you can actually arrive at your goals a lot quicker, a lot bigger, and be able to impact more people. So that's what Lose Your Mind is about. It's about adjust, adapt, and then act. Adjust, adapt, and then act. Now, one of the things I always say is that when we grew up, especially in Africa, where we grew up, you grow up knowing that certain things are gospel. If Auntie Mary said it, that was gospel. If your mama said it, that was gospel. If your pop says it, that was gospel. So the other day I was having a conversation with my mother. Bless her, I love this woman so much. She's so incredible. She's responsible for some of the things that I would say have made me the person I've become in my life. And I attribute a lot of the qualities, if you like, in terms of, dealing with people, in terms of business. She taught me business from the age of about 6 years old. I was already, learning how to count money and how to put it into different denominations and how to say, okay, if we was, expecting this is what came in, we're short by X, So my mom did that and she taught me in her, most traditional way on how to deal with business issues. And it was incredible. And I look back on those lessons and they've made me the person that I have become in business. I've done pretty well in my life. And not because I'm special, because I've had special people. I was a special student, but a student needs a teacher. So you have to learn from somebody. And my mother was incredible. She was instrumental in raising us all, my whole family. So the other day I was talking to her and we were talking about business. And my mom has an idea pretty much about everything. So she's like, yeah, that's what should happen. And then she said, I keep telling these young people that, that the best place to invest your money is in real estate. She didn't say real estate, she said houses. If you buy houses and you buy houses and you buy houses, that's fantastic. And I said, absolutely, ma'am, that's fantastic, So, we were sitting somewhere and she said to me, a block of flats like this, this is a really good investment, isn't it? And I said, it depends. So I had to give my mother a lesson in a new way of looking at business and hey Aqua, and she was like, wow, yeah, oh really, wow, really, is that how it works, But because, you know, I'm so exposed, I've been around so many people that have trained me to look at things in a different way. I'm able to reason with good amount of confidence and talk to people who I respect and I hold in high regard, like my mother, and be able to, you know, sway them a little bit to think the way I think. So we're thought leaders in Lose Your Mind. We're losing some of the old beliefs and we're looking to acquire new ones. And I want to share this message with as many people as possible. So today we're talking about next step. Okay, deciding on the next step. Okay, deciding on the next step. Okay, that's a very ambiguous statement, and it could be looked at in so many different ways. You know, and I like these things. I like being a little bit different. Not for the sake of it, but I just love it because I know that everybody has a different opinion. They go, yeah, but Danny, that's probably what you're going to talk about. It's not to be different for the sake of being different. It's just what we are. We are Lose Your Mind. We're the tribe. We're saying, let's do things a little bit different. Now, write this down if you agree with me, or just say yes in the comments box. I learned this thing a long time ago. Your destiny is shaped in your moment of decision. Your destiny is shaped in your moment of decision, or moments of decision. Your destiny is shaped in your moments of decision. Really understand that. I learned that a long time ago. I went through training with a guy called Anthony Robbins. He was one of my mentors, my coaches during the time when I was a young man. And I used to watch him. I used to read his books. I used to listen to his audio tapes. Recently, they call them DVDs and CDs and stuff like that. But we used to call them audio tapes, you know. So I used to listen to that stuff. And one of the things he said, your destiny is shaped in your moment of decision. In your moments of decision. It could be moments or a moment of decision. Now, when you hear that, it links in with the topic today. We're talking about your next step, deciding your next step. The question is, step to what? What are you deciding? Who is going where? What's the step? What is this about? That's really what the question is. People are asking me, they texted me before saying, Danny, what do you mean? You know, what's my next move? What does that mean? You know, or what's my next step? Now, when we talk about deciding or a moment of decision, life is nothing but a decision. Life is a decision. Everything we are in life is derived from decisions that we make on a daily basis. On a daily basis. And I want to break it down like this. Yeah. So when I say, what's your next step? Deciding your next step. What I'm talking about is deciding your next decision. I hope you get this part. This part is really where we're going to build the story. Deciding your next decision, because you have to decide that you're ready to make a decision. You have to decide that you're ready to decide. Because sometimes people don't make decisions, so they go, I don't know. I just, I don't know what to do. I don't know. Making no decision means you've made a decision not to make a decision. Oh man, I know it sounds, like a rap song, but listen, making a decision is derived from deciding that you need to make a decision. And the quicker you are making those decisions, the quicker you can get away with knowing, this doesn't work or this works. But if you're lackluster or kind of like casual about making the decision, unfortunately, it delays everything you're supposed to be doing. So I want you to write this down. Deciding your next decision is really paramount to your success. Deciding that you need to make a decision. And let me explain something. Let me give you some scenarios, right? So, you're in a job and you're working and everything works, everything seems to be okay. And then you come in tomorrow and they say, sorry, you can't work here anymore. We're downsizing, or something has happened, or we're closing down the company. And you're like, wow, okay, so that's it? They go, yeah. So you can make a decision to say, I'm really the most unfortunate person, so I'm going to go home and, and bury my head in the sand, cry for a month, 2 months, 3 months or whatever. This is a really good opportunity. This little money that I've held on for some time, this is a time to try my chance at setting up my own business. And you make a decision, but whatever happens, if you don't decide, so this is really important. When you say, what step am I, how do I decide to make a move? What's my next step? What's that process of deciding, what do I do next? What do I do next? What do I do next? Most people attribute to, doing, the next thing as doing the most progressive thing. Sometimes it's ejecting yourself from a bad situation. What's your next move? You got to make a decision to decide. Make a decision to decide. So when you've decided, you can then start to go on to say, okay, great. So now I've made a decision that I'm going to look for another job. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to, go back to college and study. You have to make a decision. You have to make a decision. Now, one of the things is why people don't make a decision is society will incarcerate you into thinking that you should compare yourself to other people. So very often you have a prospect or you have a project, you have something that you're trying to do and it seems very promising. But then you look on the side and you say, but Jen did it before or Bob did it before. And then you start to analyze their failures or you start to appreciate their successes and you start to compare yourself or in fact to set yourself up to compete with those people. So unfortunately, what happens is when you're making decisions that are based on your analysis of what others have done before or are doing right now, it actually defeats the purpose. It defeats the purpose of what you're trying to do. So we are all unique, and this is one of the things that I love the most. We're very unique. Every single one of us has incredible, talents. We have, our DNA is different. We're very, very unique. This is the thing that really makes me love God so much, to be able to create billions of people around the world, and each one of us is an individual. So when you understand that, you start to realize that competition could be the thing that's been holding you back from, achieving your success, from making the right decisions. We love to compete with other people. We love to compare ourselves to other people. We like to draw comparisons with their failures, their successes. We love those things. Competing could be the thing that actually holds you back from being successful. Let me explain why. Competition with others or comparing yourself to others creates pressure. It creates pressure. So you're now looking to fit into the other person's performance realm, if you like, how they act and what they do and all this kind of stuff, right? You haven't analyzed your current position. You're analyzing where they are and you're saying, I want to be just like that and then I want to be better than them. There's lessons to be drawn from watching other people do the things they do very well. There are lessons to learn from watching other people fail at doing things they should be doing. They should be making them, a lot of money or should be making them, successful in life. So there are lessons to draw from every situation. But the most important and the most potent lessons in life are drawn from personal experiences. So avoid at all cost the idea of comparing yourself to other people. What you need to do is compare their systems to your system. When you're deciding how to do things different, look at other people's systems. What is their winning formula? Not why are they winning as a person? Because when you analyze the person, you now have to be forced to copy the persona, not the process. And in business, what we say is, emulate the process, not the person. You don't want to be a copycat of a person. You want to copy their business. You want to copy their good practices, their best practices, and then be able to apply them in your business using your own personality. Now, one of the things that I like to also draw from this is when you focus on competition, whether you're a good person or a bad person, it draws you into an arena where you start to be envious. You start saying, why do they have it better than I do? Why do they have a better market than I do? Why is it that the customers love them more than they do? Why are they getting that product and I'm not getting that product? Why are they, able to get those contacts and I can't get those contacts? So not only does it create pressure, it also creates an element of envy. And envy is toxic. It's really, it stifles you. You feel trapped and you go, I want to be like that. And you know, when I was a young man, I used to love competing. I used to, you know, look at other people doing stuff and I go, I'm going to beat you. 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 And then I started to, you know, as I got older, I started to realize, no, I need to beat the man in the mirror. I need to, you know, so my next move was about, how do I fix this guy that I'm looking at in the mirror every day? How do I improve this guy? How do I, you know, strengthen his belief systems? How do I, you know, increase his knowledge, his wisdom? How do I, you know, build, you know, better contacts? How do I gain more trust? How do I gain more skill? So I focused on myself. I focused on building the version that I was last week to the version I am today. And then, man, things started to really just switch on. And when you become really good, because you're working from a position of appreciating where you are and building on what you want to become, and then, you know, as you get there, you start to appreciate that particular area as well. And then as you evolve, as you get better, you appreciate that. You say, this is really good, but I know I can grow. I can get better. I can evolve. I can actually start to help more people. I can do stuff, you know, a bit better. And that's really, really important. Yeah. The other thing also is, listen, I said this to somebody the other day in the office, and it was one of those moments, and he got it. He's like, man, I never thought about it that way. We need to be very careful. Has everybody got their life manual? Do you have it? Have you got your life manual? Is yours good? What color is yours? How big is the volume? In terms of the manual that you have to check on every day and kind of go, I'm checking on page 6, you know, of the manual, the instruction manuals that God gave me before I came to earth. He said, this is what you're going to do. You're gonna go to earth, and then as you are human, page 1 says you do this, page 2 says you do this. I have not seen the instruction manual. I understand there's a lot of wisdom, there's power in the word of God. I understand that, and I'm a great believer in that. And all of us have our faith. You know, we all have different things, denominations. Some are, you know, Orthodox, Jewish, some are Muslims, some are Christians. I'm a Christian, right? The closest to life instructions for my religion or my belief system would be the Bible. But let me explain something to you. The word doesn't come alive until you do. There's no manual out there that will instruct you steps in terms of, you know, this is what you have to do. Walk out of the house, take a left on Tuesday, and then, you know, jump in a car or jump on a bike or get into a bus and go to this particular. There's no manual. We're actually our own creators on a daily basis. We are given choice by God to go and become co-creators. So what's your next move? How do you decide your next move? So watch this, right? So there are 3 seasons that I look at in life. 3 seasons. Write the number 3 in the comments box, yeah? I'll put 3 seasons, yeah? I'm about to give them to you. There are 3 seasons in our lives. This is a fact. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. Even if you don't know it, it's true, right? So the first season is called the past. So you have the past, you know, this happened to you yesterday, 5 minutes ago, 5 seconds ago, a second ago. You are in that season of the past, you know. So the past, last week, last year, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever. So you have that. Now what happens is that in deciding what we're going to do next, very often what we do is we actually focus on the past. Now when you focus on the past, this is season 1. Season 1 is the past, right? When you focus on the past has the potential to fuel disappointment. Because I know, without a shadow of a doubt, every single person that's watching this, there has been a moment in your life when you've been really disappointed. You've been really disappointed, right? So when you've been disappointed, watch what happens. It puts a stamp on your life. You go, there was a particular time when something happened to me, man. It nearly took me out. I was so disappointed with this person. It could be a person, it could be an event, it could be a situation that disappointed you. So you have a reference point to that. Watch. There's a time in your life when you made stupid mistakes, ridiculous mistakes, and you look back and you say, did I do that? Was that me? Did I allow myself to do that? That was you. Yes, you made that mistake. That was you. What disappointments do, when you start to reference them to make your next move, they create doubt. You go, oh, Danny, hold on. You were disappointed. Let me tell you something. Never, ever, ever trust Ugandan people. Never trust Nigerian people. Never trust British people. Never trust tall guys. Never trust short people. Never trust people who speak with a deep voice. I don't know what happened, man. Something happened that disappointed you. You start to relate everything in life to that particular incident or that particular person. So you start to go, everything that happens to me, I have to catch myself because I don't want to go back there. This is what we say. You don't want to go back there. So disappointment will fuel an element of doubt. Before you can make a move, you start to question yourself, what if? What also happens is because of the mistakes we make, we are remorseful. So you start to regret, you start to go, I can't believe I did that. So you're feeling guilty, you're feeling, frustrated with yourself. You say, why did I allow myself to do that? I don't know. I remember when I was a younger person, I used to go to people. I used to say, people rip me off, man. And I met a guy who changed that. And he said, you know why they rip you off? And I go, no, he says, because you want to be ripped off. Man, you know what happened. Of course you know what happened. I was angry. I said, what is wrong with this dude? You think I wanna get, he said, yes. He goes, you're always talking about being ripped off. When you talk about being ripped off all the time, people start to say that one is a prime candidate for being ripped off because you're calling it into your life. It's funny, I was watching a clip and this guy was talking about Snoop Dogg and he said, when Snoop Dogg gave up his gun, trouble stopped coming his way. When he had his guns in his house, it's amazing how people were just looking for him. Trouble was looking for him. So we tend to reference the mistakes we made, and guess what happens? It fuels remorse, it fuels regret, and then we start thinking, oh my God, is this going to happen again? Here's the other one. When you're making a move, you start to reference your past. This is the first season I mentioned, right? People reference their winnings. They go, last year, I was #1 at this. Or last week, or last 10 years ago. So this is what you hear. In the conversation, you hear them going, about 6 years ago, I was the #1 guy. And they are so trapped in that zone. And it's like, it's so comfortable. They go, I like the fact that I was #1 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I was #1. One time, about 8 years ago, I remember I came #1 in my class. That was amazing. I'm going, that's a long time ago. So sometimes we live in the past based on the fact that we had a moment of triumph. We won something good happened to us, and then you start to kind of draw from that very, very gently. It's a bit like, when I was a young man and we didn't have money. We had no money. So whenever we went out to a place, bar or club or whatever, we would, and sometimes we weren't allowed to go, but we would go. So you'd have enough money to buy like one beer. Forgive me. Some of you who are here, please forgive me. Yeah, that was my past. So you buy a beer and you would drink, like you would lick it. You wouldn't even drink it. You'd be like, yoo. And then you'd walk around like, man, I got myself a beer. Like, look at me. And you drink a little bit. You just licking it. Because we had no money. We were broke, man. We were kids. We were straight out of school. And, trying to impress people with stuff that we didn't even have. So sometimes when people win something, they treat it like that drink. They sip on it. They don't even sip on it. They just touch it. They just lick it. They go, I was a champion once, I was a champion once. Be very careful. Don't get trapped in celebrating your winnings for 10 years. 10 years ago, I used to be. I could have been, another time, but then, something happened to me and my life changed and I couldn't really be a champion again. But, I was a champion before. Be very careful. You can't make the right move if you're living in the past. That's a past season. That's a past season. You got to let go of your regrets. You got to let go of your doubts. You have to let go of the comfort of the things you won many, many years ago. You have to disqualify yourself from the past. And one of the things I often talk about when I talk about this stuff, and I say, this is how we build up to the next level. Watch this, right? If you drive a car, you know what I'm talking about. A car is built with a rear view mirror. And why is that? It's very important, okay? A rear view mirror is actually not for looking into. It's for glancing at. You are supposed to glance at the rear view mirror. You're not supposed to make it your focal point. Watch this. If you made the rear view mirror your focal point, you have the potential to crash. The rear view mirror of a car was built for a glance. It was not built to be a focal point. You cannot drive your car looking in the rear view mirror. And what is the purpose of a rear view mirror? It's very simple. I teach everyone that wants to hear this. This is how I say it, right? It shows you what's behind you. That's what a rear mirror view shows you. A rear view mirror of a car shows you what's behind you, what's in your past. Because you pass that station and you look back and there's a truck driving past the station in your rear view mirror. Oh man, I don't know if you're getting this, yeah? I don't know if you're getting this, yeah? So when you see the truck coming behind you in the rear view mirror, you have to drive at a distance where the truck does not catch up with you, because when it catches up with you, it might hit you. Your past may come up and catch up with you. So you need to treat the past. You need to treat the memories of the past with a glance. With a glance, not your focal point. Because whatever you focus on is what you get. And everything you feed, man, everything you feed grows. So when you feed the memories of your past, and therefore you focus, you drive in your car, you're looking you're going to hit the person in the front. So that analogy of the car worked for me, and I've always remembered that. What happens is when it's behind me, I have a decision to make. It may be something that I want to catch up with me. If my friend and I are driving to a place and I'm saying, I hope they're not going to miss the turn, I keep glancing in the mirror to make sure they're right behind me, because they're an invited guest. Some things in your past are not invited. They are a very dangerous, driver driving at like 200 miles an hour, just trying to catch up with you. And you go, you know what? I don't want to have this guy driving behind me. So you're going to have to pull over and let him go. And then boom, you carry on. So sometimes there's a past that's following you. And it's important to glance at it. Yes, it's really important to use a rear view mirror. But it's not for your focal point. It's not for what you're supposed to focus on. You're supposed to focus on the big, nice windscreen that's in front of you. It's big for a reason. That's where your future is headed. It's big for a reason. So watch this, yeah? If we make our mirror view our focal point, we have the potential to crash. The second season, I hope you're loving this. If you're loving it, man, put 100. Just give a man his props. Just say, yeah, we love this. Come on. All right. Okay. You're not messing with you, but I'm actually not messing with you. Put 100. But listen, so the second season is your future. The second season is your future. Now, the future, if you're trying to make a move and you're trying to build something and you want to grow it, and you want to build a business, or you want to build a relationship or whatever, and you start to reference the future, what happens is, let me tell you what's in the future. The future is unknown. We don't know. If you don't know something, you get anxious. it breeds an element of anxiety. You start to go, what's going to happen? I don't know, some of you know this, younger people, you've probably been on a blind date, or you've been on your first date with somebody, or you've gone to your first interview, you've gone to a new school. It's unknown. You have no idea what goes on there. So when something is unknown, it creates an element of, anxiety. You're agitated. You're kind of going, what's going to happen? The future also, because of the expectations we have, we really burden ourselves. We say, I want to have this and I want to have this, and society shows you this, and you hit Facebook and you see this, and you're reading a magazine, and you're riding your car, you see a billboard, and you go on Instagram, you go on Twitter, you go on all these handles, and you start to see things that you want. You go, I expect myself to be in that category. Then competition sets in. So expectations have the potential to create fear in your life. What also happens is the future can be threatened by your past references. So you start to anticipate a future that looks like the past. The things that are in your rear view mirror starts to overtake you, and you start to go, they start to go in the windscreen. They start to go in the big windscreen, and you start to go, oh, that happened to me, 6 years ago. This is like deja vu, and people start talking about stuff like that. You've got to be very careful. You've got to be careful. So people spend time, focusing on the future. The other thing that happens in the future is the examples. Let me tell you, this is a big one for me. Yo, listen, if you've got some information from me that you've loved, I hope you get this. This is probably one of the most important things that you're going to hear me say. Nobody has been in the future. Oh, you may want to write that down. You may want to catch that. Nobody has been in the future. Let me explain it. Nobody has been in the future in reality. And I'm certainly confident that you can confirm this for me. Nobody has visited your future. No. There's no one on earth that can put a claim and say, Danny, I've been in your future and I've checked this out and I'm coming back to tell you this is how it is. There are so many people that will tell you, oh yeah, I can see things, I can do this or whatever. Now, that's cool. That's cool. That maybe works for those people. I don't know. But here's the thing, man. Nobody's been there. So watch this, right? So nobody's going to live your life for you. Nobody can start telling you, there are lessons you can draw from your elders. You can draw lessons from people. But don't limit yourself to other people's broken present, because people have a past that's led them to where they are. So when you're younger than them, they start telling you, they start saying to you, you know what? You're going to end up like your father. You're going to end up like your mother. You're going to end up like your sister. You're going to end up like our neighbor. They haven't been to your future. I want you to get this, man. Not in reality. This is what happened, right? The optimistic visionary has an imagination of the future that they hold, their own future. An optimistic visionary, somebody who has a vision for themselves for the future. They have seen what's possible, the potential of what they can create in their lives in the future. But nobody can create in your life. Oh man, I just want you to get that one in. Yo, get that one in. Nobody can create in your life. I know that. I know that for a fact. Nobody can create in your life. So when you watch people and you focus and you watch them, I want you to be careful not to say, that will be me 10 years from now. That will be you 10 years from now. If you listen to the people they listened to, and you do the things they did, and you listen to the limited beliefs that they had, you listen to their procrastination, their lack of decision, you listen to them saying, life is miserable, this is against me. If you listen to those people, they will teach you how to walk their path. So therefore, you end up with a future similar to theirs. And you say, you know how I got here? My father was a soldier, so I'm a soldier. His father was a soldier. Our great-great-grandfather it's in the family. That's what we do. We fight. We're soldiers. Nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want. If that's what you want. But you have to know that you have a ticket, your own personal ticket that has nothing on it that you can write your future on. So be very careful not to build a future based on fallacious beliefs that whatever they have lived is what you're going to live. The life they have lived is the life you're going to live. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we didn't have some of these smart gadgets that we have today. 10 years ago, or maybe 15 years ago, we didn't have the security systems that we have today. 10 years ago, some places are not the same way they are right now. The temperature is different right now. The color of the sky has changed. Things have changed. Maybe you need a coat, but 10 years ago you didn't need a coat. It was really hot. Or maybe you don't need a coat. It was really cold. Now it's really hot. So be very careful not to design your future and limit and restrict it based on the fact that you perceived it to be somebody else's future. Deciding your next step is a topic we're talking about today. The pessimist and the failures will tend to mirror their past to what's going to become your future. I want to say this one more time. I want you to catch this, yeah? The pessimists, the failures, they have the ability to mirror the failures of their past to reflect what your future is going to look like. They will teach you processes that will say, you go, I don't know what my next move is. They go, I know. Come, I've been there. You know, look at me, I'm an old man, you know. I know what I'm talking about. Come here. You see, life is not like that, son. Let me tell you. And I'm not discrediting old folks here. I'm not saying that, our ancestors or our elders in the community, I'm old too, you know. I'm not discrediting, these people. I'm just saying to you, you need to be very careful. Before you make your next move, is that really the person you want to follow? Do you like where they are? Do you like what they're doing? Are you getting this? Do you like this? Are you getting this? If you're getting this, just put it in there, right there. Okay, great. Now let me now finish the season 2. Season 2 is the future, yeah? I'm gonna finish with this, yeah? I'm gonna use a car analogy again. The headlamps of a car can only see a few meters ahead. Why is that? Why is it that the manufacturers of these cars did not say, we're going to project them about 10 miles ahead so you can see an entire 10 miles in front of you? There's a reason for that. There are elements in that that tell me that that's probably the safest bet. It's safer to be able to see maybe 20 meters or 50 meters ahead of you than to see 100 meters ahead of you. Are you getting it now? When you see 10 meters ahead of you, 100 meters or 50 meters ahead of you, you have less anxiety. You have less fear of what could be coming 10 miles from now. You have no references to what could be ahead of you. So you're confident within that particular space, and therefore when you're confident within that particular space, you approach it with, I know what I'm doing. I can see where I'm going. Whenever I go jogging, and I'm not really a big runner, like I run, but no, I don't really like running that much. I like cycling better. I prefer to do certain things. I like, climbing machines and all that kind of stuff, yeah? But whenever I run, I look down on the floor and I run looking at each step. So every step, I'm looking on the floor. I don't want to look up the hill. Every time I look up the hill, my body says, dude, are you serious? Like, you really want me to go up there? Like, you really, no, man. So I start to slow down. My system starts to shut down. But when I'm just pacing myself, I'm looking at one. I start to climb the hill. I don't know that I'm climbing. I'm just focused right here. So be careful not to zone in too much into the future, because that could, really disturb you, and you start to think, I wonder what's coming. The third season and the last season in deciding your next move. It's a season we call now, or the present. There's a famous saying that the past is history. The future is a mystery. This moment is a gift. That's why we call it the present. I hope you got that one. The past is history. The future is a mystery. We don't know. All we can do is create the future in the moment, right? The future is a mystery. This moment is a gift. That's why we call it the present. So I started this conversation by saying, your destiny is decided in your moments of decision. Moments. Moments can only be enjoyed. They can only be lived in the now. Moments can only be cultivated. They can only be productive. They can only be leveraged in the now, the present, the gift. Now is the only time that you have to make a difference in your life. The past is history. You can see it in your small, tiny rearview mirror that gives you a clear image of what happened in the past. You have this big screen that shows you where you're going. You need it. You need to have sight as well as vision. You know where you're going mentally. You're thinking about where you're going. You also have the ability to see where you're going. Very important. But what's really important is to understand that the canvas is blank. In this moment right now, in this moment as you decide your next move, the canvas is blank. You are the painter. You are the Picasso. You are the Tagger. You know, if you're in Uganda, you know Tagger. You know, Tagger is my man. He's the baddest artist, right? You are that person. You have the paintbrush yourself. It's called life. And you can inscribe anything. You are the storyteller. You are the story writer. You are the creator. In that moment, you can start to create things that will culminate or that will sum up to become what people say, that's your life. That's your life. So as a story writer, as a storyteller, as you know, because we tell the story with our actions, with our projections, with our expressions. That's how we tell the story. With the things that we actually put out there, manifest every single day. Your manifestation is your storyboard. But the only time we're in control is now. We cannot control the past because it's written already. It's done. But we can get away from it because what's going to happen? If you live in the past, you may live in a remorseful past. If you live in the future, you may live in an anxious future. So you stand in a moment where you're anxious and remorseful and you're paralyzed. You're paralyzed by the future. And you have a tail on you. Something is creeping up on you from the past saying, hey, don't forget, it's me. We're friends. I've been with you. You know, I'm Mr. Broke. You know, like, you always broke. Like you've been broke all your life. Don't leave me behind. We're together. These things are spirits. But you know, in the moment right now, in this moment, you can make a decision and say, I'm ready. Now watch this. When something is tailing you and you're driving and this guy, you take a left, you take a left. You take a right, he take a right. You go faster. You slow down, you go, hold on a second. Why is this guy tailing me? I'm being followed. Have you heard that? If it's never happened to you, you've seen it in a movie. I'm being followed. I don't want to be followed by my past. No. So what do? Sometimes the best thing is to pull over. Pull over. And if that guy pulls over, you want to address the situation and say, dude, are you following me? Because I've seen you the last 10 miles. Like, he goes, no, man. Like I'm scared driving late by myself. So I'm just thinking wherever you're going, if there's a hotel, I'm just going to come there, but I don't want to drive by myself. I'm a first-time driver. You go, okay, I didn't know that, right? So the past can be on your tail. It can follow you everywhere you go if you let it be. And when you do that, the moment you have a split between these two twin forces, pulling you forward, one is pulling you backward. One is pulling you forward, one is pulling you backward. And unfortunately, when that happens is you're in a moment of paralysis. You cannot create a future if you're busy trying to focus on lamenting and, thinking about what didn't happen. You cannot create a future if you're procrastinating about, I think tomorrow will be better. Time is a finite thing. Time is a finite thing. Watch this. Time is also abstract. Time is abstract. This ideology of, I'll start tomorrow. People have calendars, man. Like I've seen people, I've been to offices and the dude has a calendar on the wall and I'm going, what's that? They go, it's a calendar. I said, do you still do those things? I go, there's one in your phone and in your watch as well. So why do you need one on the wall? They go, yeah, you see, every month we do this and we don't hit it. That's really, and it's good. It's good. It gives you a time frame. It's a really good thing to do. But I know that my most powerful moment is now. The only time I control is now. Because when I do good works in the moment, I create the future that I desire. If I don't do good works in the moment, I create a past that I'm going to regret for the rest of my life. And watch this, I then affect the future that I would have had because I did nothing. I didn't make the next move. You need to understand that it's like, past, future. There are two forces, there are two pillars. And then right here sits the moment we call the present. I just live in the moment. I don't like this. I have visions of where I want to be in the next 10 years, 20 years, 50 years even, if you ask me. I have those visions. But I also know that the only time I'm allotted to build on those visions is right now, this moment, right now, this moment. I can change my life for good. You can become, smarter right now, in this moment. Nobody can deny you that. You can read a book right now. You can research some stuff online. You can start to write your ideas on paper. You can do that right now. You can start to call people. You can start to look for people that have information that you need. You can go to libraries. You can go and do a course. You can do stuff. You can change your life right now. I'm reminded of a story. This lady, we were talking and somebody said that there was this lady, it didn't happen in front of me, but somebody was talking to a lady and they said, look, you've lost your job, so what are you going to do? She said, look, I've always wanted to do a law degree. Maybe I should start now. And the guy says, yeah, that's a really good idea. This lady's 45 and says, I'm 45 though. I wanted to do it when I was younger, but now I'm old. I'm just, I'm a bit too old to be going back to college and sit with these kids and do all this stuff. No, I think it's a bit too much. So the guy looked at the lady, says, that's okay, that's fine. He said to her, so if you don't do this law degree, that takes you maybe 4 years or whatever, plus the bar, maybe another year, I don't know how long it takes, maybe 5 years. So that would be 5 years of your life. So if you don't do it, how old are you going to be in 5 years' time? She said 50. So she said, you can be a 50-year-old lawyer, or you can be 50. Lawyer. But you're going to be 50. So what's your problem? The problem is not that we don't have enough time. The problem is not because we don't think we can make 5 years ahead of ourselves. That's not the problem. The problem is that this lady had been procrastinating all her life about being a lawyer. And that moment changed her life. Because if you don't do it, you will still be 50, but you won't be a lawyer. If you do it, you'll still be 50, but a 50-year-old lawyer. And you would have hit your goal. So there's no time to waste in waiting for one day things will happen. The quickest way to make this move that you've been putting off for a long time is to get to work right now, to make mistakes right now, to enjoy the process of being somebody that's willing to expose themselves. I love that. I love exposure. Exposure is, I'm stuttering now. I'm getting really passionate. Exposure is really powerful. Vulnerability is one of the most powerful resources that we have as human beings. Being vulnerable and being able to expose yourself. Being able to expose yourself, So I'm doing stuff right now that I'm going, no, I realize, I go, you know what? I used to be a lot stronger than this, yeah? So I've set myself a goal to be stronger than I was when I was 25. And it's painful. It's really painful. Like I'm doing some intense physical activity, like a lot. I do twice a day, like morning and evening. And after this, I'm about to go and train. I was talking to somebody, they said, dude, like it's coming to 11, like you're still in the gym. I said, yeah, I'm working out. But I set myself a goal and I said, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do something that I actually thought was impossible at my age. I'm going to do it. I'm going to expose myself, my weaknesses, my flaws and stuff. And I have this, because now we have virtual instructors. I have my instructors online or whatever. And the stuff they make you do, man, it's like you go, are you kidding? Like, does my body do that? They go, yes, it does. But it's beautiful. It's beautiful. When you dust off the mud and you come out of it and, and they give you the stuff and they go, you're Marine. La, 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 la. It's a beautiful thing. So your next move won't be perfect. Your next move is not tomorrow. Your next move is not a lost opportunity yesterday. Your next move is right now. Your next move requires that you say, I'm going. I don't know how, I don't know where, I don't know who, I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm going anyway. And the best teacher is not somebody else's experience, it's your experience. It's the best teacher. Yes, you can draw from other people's examples, but the best teacher is going to be you learning from your experience. So, I want to really close this by saying, deciding to make the next move is initially preceded by a decision to decide. You have to decide that something has to be done about, what you want to do. Maybe you're winning right now and you want to go a higher level, make a decision. Go, this is really good, but this is the past. Because 5 minutes ago, I received results. Past. 10 minutes later, I may get results. That's in the future. I don't know. I can't control that. But right now, results, man, I'm in charge. I'm in charge. I'm telling you, I'm in charge. I have, God given me life and the protection and the hedges over me like it is all the time. I have nothing to fear. I'm going to go for it. Make a decision to become exceptional. What is the point of going through life, guys? And then on your last day, they ask you, they say, what happened? You go, man, I could have done this, Let me tell you how powerful the moment is. This is how powerful the moment is. Whenever you're sick in bed and you're really sick and you can't walk and you're tired and your legs and everything and you're sick, you look around and people coming to see you, they're bringing you flowers and food and drinks and stuff, and you look at them, you go, man, you say, when I get out of this bed, I'm going to go running, I'm going to climb mountains, I'm going to do cycling, I'm going to do swimming, I'm going to do everything I've always wanted to do. At that particular time, you appreciate the moment. At that particular time, you can feel yourself breathe. You feel the breath coming into you. You go, I'm breathing. Because sometimes there's a monitor saying to you, this is how you're breathing. It's showing you, this is your frequency right now. You appreciate the moment. At that moment when everybody leaves the hospital and you're alone in the room and you can hear every little sound. You go, wow, man, I want to be out there. And you hear a car drive by, you go, whoa, that could be me. I always said I'd never been to hospital, like to sleep in a hospital, right? So I'm in Liverpool. I'm doing a training clinic with a team of guys, my guys that I was working with at the time. And I started to get shivery, and I'm like, man, I'm a bit shiverish, and what's going on, you know, whatever. So I said to Kevin, my friend, I said, you know, let's just go to the doctors. I hate going to the doctors. I just, you know, I eat green stuff, so I should be okay. And I'm not bragging. My health regime is like crazy. So I don't like going to for medical stuff. So I said to Kev, just go, let's go. He said, no, man, you're good, you're good. So I went back to my hotel room because I don't live in Liverpool. And I felt bad, and I thought, you know what, let me just go to the hospital alone. So I went to the hospital, and I got there, and I sat down, and I'm looking around, and you know, hospitals stink. They smell really bad. They have this really, really strong chemical smell. So I'm going, you know, what's going on? So these guys are coming in, and this lady comes and says, come over, and she takes me to the room. She says, you know, I'm a nurse, and she talks to me, and then she says, okay, I need to bring a doctor. So they bring this guy in a white coat, and he comes over. He says, how are you, sir? And I said, great. We talk. So I said to him, I'm feeling a bit, you know, feverish. I'm feeling a bit tired. I don't know what's going on. I don't have a headache. I don't have any other pains. I just feel a lot of fever right now. So he says, have you been traveling? I said, yes, I was in Uganda. He said, oh, when? I said, I just came back last week. He said, oh, which part? And I said, I was in Kampala. He says, okay, is that the city? And I said, yes. He said, okay. He said, can you stay right there, please? Just 1 second. And he just backed off like that. So he stood up and he closed the door. And I'm going, the door was open. So he closed the door, and I'm going, okay. So literally within like 10 minutes, I see like a flood of doctors looking through the glass like this, looking through the glass. And they were looking at me. I was like an exhibition. So I'm going, what did I just say? I just told the dude I was in Uganda, right? So, and then these two ladies come in, they open the door, they come into the door, and then they're followed by about 8 people, all men, big guys, you know, hello, you know, yes. Right, so we would like you to come with us. And they said, where? We're going upstairs to the 6th floor. I said, no problem. So I say, what's going on? Like, why am I getting so many people looking at me? They say, no, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Then one doctor says, we need to get you to speak to our tropical doctor. I say, what's this about? They go, we think you may have malaria. I go, that's okay. Like, if I was in Uganda, I'll just pop a pill and I'll be good. Like, in 3-4 days, I'm good. They go, so we need to, before COVID, right? This is many years ago. I was quarantined in Liverpool hospital. Listen, no, I'm telling you, it was hilarious. So I went in, I had a bit of a fever, and I was tired, and now I'm in quarantine, and they have, you know, that all the toilet seats were covered. They were wrapped with this plastic paper. The doors were all, you know, and then I saw a guy come in after they put me in this room. It's a white room. Everything is covered. So I saw a guy come in with a costume, and he's breathing through a tube, and he's like, he said, hello, I'm your tropical doctor. And I said, yo, I said, what's going on? They said, they think you may have malaria. I said, so why are you dressed like that? I was scared. I was quarantined because I had a fever. So they put me in the hospital, and my life came just flooding back at me. I was like, yo, Danny, is this like, what's going on? So I then realized that in the UK, malaria is like a death sentence. They go, you have malaria? So anyway, so I'm in hospital, and I stayed over the night. I paid for my hotel, but I couldn't sleep in my hotel room. So I'm in the hospital. I'm going, this can't be true. So I remember I could hear cars drive by. I would hear people talking in the corridors. I'm going, they're free. And I'm here in this room, and they would feed me food through a window. I'm going, what's going on? If it's malaria, why am I being treated like this? It's not like you're going to touch me and get malaria, right? My friend came to see me, Kevin, the next day. He was dying of laughter. He said, what is wrong, man? You look funny. I'm wearing this white thing that they put me in a white suit, like a cotton thing. I go, dude, they locked me in here. They said, I have malaria. He said, yeah. He said, they gave me gloves and they gave him a headgear. He said, I just left it at the door. And the nurse came in. She said, excuse me, sir, you're not supposed to be in here without protection. So Kevin is like, it's all right. If he has it, I'm going to have it. He's my mate. So anyway, a few hours later, they came back. They said, no, you don't have malaria. You're just tired. I don't even know why I told you that story. I don't even know why I told you that story. The bottom line though, guys, is you'll appreciate life more when you realize that the only power that you have is in the moment. The only power you have to change your life is in the moment. Everything is but a moment. Everything else is in the future, which you can't control. Everything else is in the past, which you can't change. So stop living in the past. Stop gravitating towards the future that's fallacious. It doesn't exist. The future is a hologram. It doesn't exist. The only future that you have is right now. You're writing your story. And that story will show up tomorrow. And they said, that's you. That's who you are. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've done my time and a little bit over. I want to appreciate you. I want to say, lose your mind on this one. As you make your next move, do it in the moment. Do not wait. Do not wait. And do not be a person who laments the past. Because guess what? It's done. The past is done. The future is a mystery. The past is history. The future is a mystery. This moment is a gift. That's why we call it the present. I appreciate and love all of you. Thank you very much. God bless you. We see you again over the weekend. I have a hot topic for you that we're going to talk about. If you love this much, send it to your friends. Share this with your friends. Share this with everybody. Let's share this. Let's get the tribe to go mentor. There's 10,000 people that are on the tribe channel. There are millions of people around the world that could use this advice. I actually know that life is intuitive. You have so much wisdom in you. Next time it's going to be you doing this, and we're going to be sharing your stuff. So share as much as you want. You don't need my permission. Go make your next move. Don't wait. There's no tomorrow. It's right now. It's right now. God bless you. Lose your mind. I'm out.